What's up, YouTube? It's Atlas here with the Atlas Effect. Just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Today's topic of discussion will be Game of Thrones. A couple theories I want to talk about. Couple things that I want to try and predict for season 7. Feel free to leave comments on what you think is gonna happen, or I'd love to hear your theories. Let's try to keep it civil. Everyone has a difference of opinion, and that's okay. So let's jump right into it. The first theory that I want to talk about is Theon Greyjoy's fate. Um, as far as we know, he's suffered quite a bit, and me personally, I feel like he may possibly die in season 7. Here's why. So not only has Theon lost all will over himself, but he lost his manhood, literally. He lost his right as king of the Iron Islands. He's got a psycho uncle out to kill him and his sister. And he's got a sister who's more of a man than he is. Now, what I see happening is Theon dying in some type of battle, helping his sister against the uncle. Maybe the uncle kills him. Maybe one of the uncle's new soldiers. Who knows? But I don't see him making it. I do see him helping his sister secure the throne for the Iron Islands, and I see it playing out where she takes over with aid, possibly from Daenerys, now that they're in, so to speak, bed together. So I'd love to see how that's going to unfold. I like the little romance interest that could possibly happen there. It's kind of funny, but so that's where I'm going with that with Theon. Next on my list is the one and only Daenerys Targaryen. Now she's a little more trickier. I personally think that she may possibly survive long enough to sit on the Iron Throne, and here's why I think that. All right, so her major competition is Cersei, and unknowingly Jon Snow. Now, here's the thing with Jon Snow. He doesn't seem like he really wants the Iron Throne. Actually, he doesn't really seem like he wants to be in charge of anything. I mean, we saw that when he walked away from his title as Lord Commander. Yes, he was killed. Yes, he came back from the dead, and that could change a person's view on ruling over anything. But fact of the matter is, I don't feel as though he really wants that headache. I feel like he kind of just wants to be done with whatever's coming and live a life, a normal life, as normal as it can be. So I don't think she'll have much competition from him. Now with Cersei, yes, Daenerys has dragons, and they will decimate everything in their path. But Cersei has the mountain, the zombie version of the mountain. Now, yes, I'm sure one of the dragons could light him on fire, eat him, whatever. Here's the thing. Having someone like the mountain puts her in a position to get her kills in behind the scenes. Whereas Daenerys, you see it coming. 3 huge dragons flying through the air, lighting shit on fire. You see that coming. But someone like the mountain, to catch someone off guard, maybe catch Daenerys asleep in her bed, or maybe he's able to disguise himself and sneak up on her. You got to remember, Daenerys doesn't really know what Cersei has. She doesn't really know what kind of game Cersei's going to play. And I don't really think she knows much about Cersei at all. So the fact that she has this zombie bodyguard, could come as a surprise to her. And she could catch her off guard with that. So I would be very careful. Daenerys can't bring her dragons into the throne room to talk. Do you see what I'm saying? So all it would take is for Cersei to schedule a meet and greet, so to speak, and have the mountain waiting for her. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. Personally, what I think is going to happen is that Cersei is going to die. And someone close to me made made a very made a very good point. She could possibly end up meeting her fate at the hands of someone who she is close to, or someone who had loyalty to her. This person mentioned the Mountain quite possibly losing his mind and killing her either on purpose or by accident. This person also mentioned Jaime Lannister possibly killing her. Now, these are all things that I wouldn't put past Martin, because he's been known to pull some surprises. So as far as her fate, I don't think she's gonna make it through season 7, but she's gonna cause some hell. I will tell you that. I mean, we saw that at the end of season 6. So now that she's lost all of her children, there's really nothing holding her back. So those are my thoughts on Daenerys taking over, and those are my thoughts on Cersei's fate. Now, someone a little more complicated, Jon Snow. Like I said, he's been killed. He's come back to life. That's kind of like a trump card in Martin's series. If you can come back from the dead 9 times out of 10, you're gonna make it through to the end of the series. I mean, it's just it doesn't happen. The thing with Jon Snow, though, like I said, I don't feel he wants that responsibility. I don't feel as though he wants to be ruler. The talk of him possibly being Azor Ahai, I get it, but at the same time, he just wants a life. He just wants his family back, and I'm pretty sure once he finds out Arya's still alive, I mean, more than anything, he's going to want to just go back to the way things were. Now, whether that's going to be possible or not is a whole nother story, but who knows? So that's kind of what I feel about him and where he's going in season 7. Do I think he's going to die? It's hard to tell. It's very hard to tell. It's possible, but I don't think he's gonna meet his fate in season 7. I think he's gonna live through it. I think he's gonna be a major player, of course. I think he's gonna set things up for Daenerys, unknowingly or knowingly. And I think he's gonna make it possible for her to take over the Iron Throne. And I feel like he's gonna walk away from it after that. He's just not gonna want anything to do with it, which would completely be understandable in his situation. Who else? All right, so here's an interesting person. So I was sitting there one day, and I'm reading through theories, and I'm reading through speculation on characters in the show, and I came across one name, Jaqen H'ghar. And I kind of put a theory together in my head, throw it out there. We can roll with it, see what you think. Please let me know. I think Jaqen H'ghar is the Faceless One. They talk about the old gods, and one of the old gods being the Faceless One. And here's why. Here's why I have that theory. Okay, so whenever any of the his assassins, whenever any of his assassins uses a face, they have to take it off. They physically have to take it off. Now, there's a scene where Arya gets to Braavos, and she's followed by the dark-skinned man in the cloak. As she's staring at him, a stranger on the street passes by him, and he goes from being the African-American male to Jaqen H'ghar. Now, that's interesting because there was no physical pull, there was no release from this form. He literally kind of just phased into his real face. And I look at that as quite possibly having an ability that no one else has. I mean, everyone else has to pull the face off. He didn't have to do it. Also, there's the scene at the end of, oh God, I'm going to butcher this. Was it season 1 or season 2? Where he changes his face in front of her with his back to her. I get that. But he changed his face, like, right there. Now, I don't know how he was able to do that. I've never seen anyone else that he's taught or he has under him do that. So that's got some holes in it. Okay, I'll give you that. But here's the other thing. His base of operations is a place of worship. Okay? People bring their dead to him and he ushers them into the afterlife. Now, who are they worshiping in that temple? You know, like, and if you've noticed, he's like the main guy. He's the main guy. So I feel like that temple was built for him, the God, the many-faced God, and I feel as though that the many-faced God has something to do with ushering people into the afterlife. You know, the God of death. It makes sense. People bring their dead to him. He takes care of them. He performs whatever ritual, cleanses them, and then helps them move into the afterlife. Now, yes, he may take their face, which is kind of messed up, because they're going into the afterlife with no face. So, unfortunately, they'll have no face. Not that they would need it, but I feel like he himself is the many-faced God. I feel as though because Arya's parents, both Ned and Lady Catherine, worship the old gods, maybe he answered their prayers. Maybe they prayed to him to keep their children safe. Maybe Ned prayed to the many-faced God when he got to the kingdom and realized that Cersei was evil and whatever, and he wanted to get his daughters out of there. Maybe he prayed to the many-faced God. I mean, I don't know specifics, but I feel as though Jaqen H'ghar could quite possibly be the many-faced God himself, and that would be pretty interesting. So those are my theories. I don't want to keep you too long. Leave a comment, leave a like. You can always subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you see this playing out. I would love to hear everyone's theories. And yeah, so for now, the Atlas Effect is out. Catch you guys later.